Welcome to English Shadowing Daily Podcast. I'm Ash, and I'm here with Sage.
Hey, Ash, can I tell you something embarrassing?
Oh no, what happened?
So, yesterday, I spent 3 hours reorganizing my bookshelf. 3 hours! Because the books weren't perfectly arranged by color and size. And when I finished, I stood there thinking, why did I just do that?
Wait, you organize them by color and size? That sounds intense.
I know, right? And here's the worst part. I was supposed to be studying for an exam, but my brain couldn't focus because the books looked messy. Does that sound crazy to you?
Not crazy at all, Sage. Actually, that sounds like something a lot of people experience. That need for everything to be perfect before you can move forward.
Exactly. And I felt so frustrated with myself. Like, why can't I just let things be good enough?
That's such a real feeling. And you know what? I think a lot of our listeners might relate to this. Maybe you felt it too. That pressure to make everything perfect. Your English has to be perfect, your work has to be perfect, even your daily routine has to be perfect. And if it's not, you feel stuck.
Yes, stuck is the perfect word for it. And honestly, Ash, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. How perfectionism kind of takes over sometimes.
Well, you brought up the perfect topic for today then, because we're going to talk about perfectionism, how to recognize it, how to talk about it in English, and most importantly, how to be a little gentler with yourself.
I love that. And hey, if you're listening right now and you've ever felt like nothing you do is quite good enough, stay with us because this conversation might help you understand yourself a bit better and maybe, just maybe, give you some relief.
Absolutely. And listeners, as we go through this together, there's no pressure at all. If you just want to listen quietly, that's completely fine. If you want to repeat some sentences with us, that's wonderful too. This is a safe space. No judgment, no perfect answers required.
No perfect answers required. I need to remember that one myself.
Me too, Sage. Me too. Okay, so let's start with something simple. What does perfectionism actually feel like? Because I think sometimes we use the word, but we don't really stop to think about what it means in our daily lives.
That's true. For me, it feels like this constant voice in my head saying, that's not good enough yet, try again, make it better, even when something is already fine.
Mm-hmm. And that voice never really stops, does it? It just keeps pushing. And the tricky thing is, sometimes we think that voice is helping us. We think it's making us better, stronger, more successful.
Right. Like, if I just work a little harder, if I just fix this one more thing, then everything will be okay. Then I'll feel satisfied. But does that satisfaction ever really come?
Honestly, not really. Because as soon as I fix one thing, I notice something else that's not perfect. It's like chasing something I can never catch.
Exactly. And that's the exhausting part. Perfectionism isn't really about doing great work. It's about never feeling like your work is great enough. And that, my friend, is draining.
It really is. So, Ash, how would you explain perfectionism to someone who's learning English? Like, what words would you use? Good question. Let's try this. Perfectionism is when you believe that everything you do must be flawless. Flawless means without any mistakes, without any imperfections. And if something has even a tiny flaw, you feel like it's not acceptable. You feel like you failed.
Okay, so flawless. No mistakes, no imperfections. Got it. Let's say that together once for our listeners. Repeat after us. Perfectionism is the belief that everything must be flawless.
Nice and slow. Perfectionism is the belief that everything must be flawless.
Beautiful. And even just saying that sentence out loud, I can feel how heavy it sounds. Everything must be flawless. That's a lot of pressure.
It is. And listeners, take a moment here. Think about your own life. Is there something you're trying to make perfect right now? Maybe it's your English, maybe it's your work, maybe it's how you look or how you present yourself to others. Just notice it, no judgment, just awareness.
And if you want, you can tell us in the comments what's one area where you feel perfectionism showing up. We'd love to hear from you. And honestly, sometimes just writing it down can help you feel a little lighter.
Absolutely. Okay, Sage, let's go a bit deeper. Why do people become perfectionists in the first place? Because I don't think we're born this way, right?
No, I don't think so either. I think it develops over time. Maybe from childhood, maybe from school, maybe from the people around us.
That makes sense. Like, imagine a child who brings home a test with a score of 95 out of 100. That's a really good score. But instead of celebrating, the parent says, "What happened to the other 5 points?"
Oh, that hurts just hearing it.
Right? And over time, that child learns that good isn't good enough. Only perfect is acceptable. And that belief stays with them even when they grow up.
Wow. So perfectionism can actually come from wanting to feel loved, wanting to feel approved, wanting to feel like we're enough.
Exactly. It's not really about the work itself, it's about feeling worthy. And that's why it's so painful, because deep down, perfectionists are often people who care so much. They just want to do well. They want to be valued.
That's such a compassionate way to look at it, Ash. I never thought about it like that before.
Well, I think it's important because when we understand where perfectionism comes from, we can be kinder to ourselves. We can say, "Oh, this isn't a character flaw. This is just something I learned. And if I learned it, I can also unlearn it."
I love that. If I learned it, I can unlearn it. Can we say that together? Repeat with us. If I learned it, I can unlearn it.
One more time. If I learned it, I can unlearn it.
That feels empowering just to say out loud.
It does, doesn't it? Okay, so let's talk about how perfectionism shows up in real life, especially for English learners, because I think this is something a lot of people experience, but maybe don't talk about.
Oh, yes, I see this all the time. People who are so afraid of making mistakes that they just stop trying. They stop speaking, they stop writing because they're terrified of sounding imperfect.
Exactly. And that fear keeps them stuck. They think, my English isn't good enough yet. I need to study more. I need to be better. And then, maybe then, I'll start speaking.
But the truth is, you get better by speaking, not by waiting until you're perfect.
Right. Progress comes from action, not from perfection. And I think that's one of the hardest lessons to learn.
So true. You know, I once had a friend who wanted to write a book, but she kept rewriting the first chapter over and over again. She never got to chapter 2 because chapter 1 wasn't perfect yet.
Oh, no. And let me guess, the book never got finished.
Nope. She's still working on chapter 1, years later.
That's heartbreaking, because I bet if she had just kept writing, even imperfectly, she would have a finished book by now. Maybe not a perfect book, but a real book, a done book.
Exactly. And done is better than perfect. That's actually a phrase I try to remind myself of. Done is better than perfect.
Oh, I like that. Let's practice that one. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect.
Again, done is better than perfect.
And listeners, if that phrase resonates with you, maybe write it down somewhere. Put it on your wall. Put it on your phone. Remind yourself that finishing something imperfectly is more valuable than never finishing at all.
Yes. And hey, if you're still with us, leave a comment and just type the word done. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're learning. We'd love to see your comments.
Okay, Sage, let's imagine a real conversation. Let's say someone is struggling with perfectionism and they want to talk about it with a friend. How might that conversation sound?
Oh, good idea. Okay, I'll be the person struggling. You be the supportive friend.
Got it. Go ahead.
Hey, can I talk to you about something?
Of course. What's on your mind?
I've been feeling really stuck lately. Like, I want to improve my English, but every time I try to speak, I freeze. I'm so afraid of making mistakes.
I hear you. That sounds really frustrating.
It is. And the worst part is, I know I'm being too hard on myself, but I can't seem to stop.
Well, first of all, it's completely normal to feel that way. A lot of people do. And the fact that you're aware of it is actually a really good sign.
You think so?
Absolutely. Because awareness is the first step. And look, nobody speaks perfectly. not even native speakers. We all make mistakes. We all stumble over words sometimes. That's just part of being human.
I guess you're right, but it's hard to remember that in the moment.
I know, but maybe try this. Next time you feel that fear, take a breath and remind yourself that mistakes are proof that you're trying. They're proof that you're learning.
Mistakes are proof that I'm trying. I like that.
Good. And be patient with yourself, okay? You're doing better than you think.
Thank you. That really helps.
Okay, let's pause there. Listeners, did you notice how that conversation felt? It was gentle. It was kind. There was no criticism, no judgment, just understanding and encouragement.
And that's exactly the kind of conversation perfectionists need to hear. Not pressure, not demands, just reassurance that they're already enough.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some phrases you can use when discussing perfectionism in English. These are really useful, so feel free to repeat them quietly if you want.
First one, I tend to be hard on myself. This means you criticize yourself a lot. You're tough on yourself. Say it with us. I tend to be hard on myself.
Next one. I have high standards. This means you expect a lot from yourself or from others. High standards. I have high standards.
Another one, I struggle with letting go. This means it's difficult for you to accept things as they are. You want to keep improving or fixing. I struggle with letting go.
And here's an important one. I'm learning to be kinder to myself. This means you're practicing self-compassion. You're trying to treat yourself with more gentleness. I'm learning to be kinder to myself.
Let's say that one together again. I'm learning to be kinder to myself.
Beautiful. And listeners, that phrase right there is so powerful because it's not saying you've already figured everything out. It's saying you're learning, you're in process, and that's perfectly okay.
I love that. You're in process. We're all in process, really.
We are, and I think that's something worth celebrating. Not the perfection, but the process, the effort, the courage to keep trying even when it's hard.
So true. Okay, Ash, I want to talk about something else. The difference between perfectionism and having high standards, because I think sometimes people confuse the two.
Oh, that's a great point. They do seem similar, don't they?
They do, but I think there's a key difference. High standards mean you care about quality, you want to do good work, but you can still feel satisfied when you reach a reasonable goal.
Right. You can say, this is good enough, I'm proud of this, and you can move on.
Exactly. But perfectionism is different. With perfectionism, nothing is ever good enough. There's always something more to fix, something more to improve. You never feel satisfied.
So high standards are healthy. They motivate you. But perfectionism is unhealthy. It paralyzes you.
Yes, high standards help you grow. Perfectionism keeps you stuck.
That's such an important distinction, and I think a lot of people need to hear that because they think being a perfectionist means they care about excellence, but really it just means they're suffering unnecessarily.
Exactly. And suffering doesn't make your work better. It just makes you tired.
So well said, Sage. Okay, let's practice a few more sentences together. These are things you might say when you're trying to overcome perfectionism. Ready?
Ready.
First one. I'm allowed to make mistakes. Say it with me. I'm allowed to make mistakes.
Next, progress matters more than perfection. Let's try that. Progress matters more than perfection.
Good. Here's another. I don't have to be perfect to be valuable. One more time. I don't have to be perfect to be valuable.
And finally, I'm doing my best, and that's enough. Together, I'm doing my best, and that's enough.
How did those feel, listeners? Did any of them resonate with you? If so, tell us in the comments which sentence felt the most meaningful to you.
Yes, we'd love to know. And honestly, sometimes just reading these affirmations can start to shift how you feel about yourself, little by little.
Absolutely. Now, Sage, let's talk about practical strategies. What can someone actually do when they notice perfectionism taking over?
Oh, good question. Okay, here's one thing that helps me. Set a timer. If I'm working on something and I notice I'm getting lost in tiny details, I set a timer for 20 minutes. And when the timer goes off, I stop, even if it's not perfect.
Ooh, I like that. It creates a boundary. It says, this is enough time. Now I need to move forward.
Exactly, because otherwise I could spend hours on something that really doesn't need hours.
Right, and those hours add up. They steal time from other things that actually matter.
Another strategy is to practice finishing things quickly. Like, give yourself a challenge. Write an email in 5 minutes. Don't edit, just write and send. See what happens.
Oh, wow, that sounds terrifying for a perfectionist.
It is, but it's also really freeing because you realize the world doesn't end. People still understand you, and the email doesn't have to be perfect to be effective.
That's so true. And I think that's a lesson perfectionists really need. That imperfect action is still valuable. It still counts.
Yes, imperfect action still counts. Let's say that together. Imperfect action still counts.
One more time. Imperfect action still counts.
I'm going to remember that one.
Me too. Okay, here's another strategy. Talk to yourself the way you talk to a good friend, because I bet you're way harder on yourself than you would ever be on someone you care about.
Oh, absolutely. If my friend made a mistake, I'd say, hey, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. You'll do better next time. But when I make a mistake, I say, how could you be so careless? You should have known better.
Exactly. And that's not fair, is it? You deserve the same kindness you give to others.
I do. We all do. And that's something I'm really working on, treating myself like someone I care about.
That's beautiful, Sage. And listeners, maybe that's something you can try this week. When you notice that critical voice in your head, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? If the answer is no, then don't say it to yourself either.
Yes, be your own friend, not your own bully.
Perfectly said. Okay, let's take a small moment here. Just breathe with me. No pressure, no rush. Just a gentle breath in and a gentle breath out.
And as you breathe, remind yourself, you are enough. Right now, just as you are. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be you.
And that is more than enough.
Okay, Ash, I want to talk about something vulnerable, the fear of judgment, because I think that's a huge part of perfectionism. We're so afraid of what other people will think.
Oh, absolutely. That fear is massive. We think, if I'm not perfect, people will criticize me. They'll think less of me. They'll see me as a failure.
Yes, and that fear keeps us from trying new things, from speaking up, from being ourselves.
But here's the thing. Most people aren't judging us nearly as much as we think they are. They're too busy worrying about their own imperfections.
That's so true. Everyone is so focused on their own stuff, they barely notice ours.
Exactly. And the people who do judge harshly, often they're dealing with their own perfectionism. They're projecting their own fears onto you.
That's a compassionate way to look at it. So really, judgment says more about the person judging than the person being judged.
Exactly. And when you realize that, it takes away some of the power. You can say, their opinion is about them, not about me.
I love that. Their opinion is about them, not about me. Let's practice that. Their opinion is about them, not about me.
One more time. Their opinion is about them, not about me.
That feels liberating just to say.
It does. And listeners, I want you to know something. If you're here, listening to this podcast, practicing your English, you're already doing something brave. You're already taking imperfect action, and that is worth celebrating.
Absolutely. And if you've made it this far in the episode, you're doing amazing. Seriously. Leave us a comment and tell us one small thing you're proud of today. It doesn't have to be big, just something small. We want to celebrate with you.
Yes, please share. because celebrating small wins is how we break free from perfectionism. We stop waiting for the big, perfect moment, and we start honoring the little imperfect steps.
So true. Okay, Ash, as we start to wrap up, what's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
Good question. I think I'd say this. Perfectionism isn't something you defeat overnight. It's something you learn to live with more gently. Some days you'll struggle with it. Some days you'll feel free from it. And that's okay. That's normal. That's human.
I love that. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about being a little kinder today than you were yesterday.
Exactly. And even if you're just 1% kinder to yourself, that matters. That counts. That's growth.
And listeners, we want you to know, your English doesn't have to be perfect. Your progress doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up. You just have to try. And you're already doing that by being here.
You really are. And we're so glad you're here with us, learning together, growing together, being imperfect together.
So keep going, keep practicing, keep being gentle with yourself. And remember, every word you speak, every sentence you try, every mistake you make, it's all part of the journey. And the journey is beautiful, even when it's messy.
Especially when it's messy.
Yes, especially then.
All right, friends, thank you so much for listening today. We'll see you in the next episode. And until then, be kind to yourself.
Be patient with yourself. And remember, you're doing better than you think.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.